Troy University is home to a vastly diverse population of students, faculty, staff, and visitors. One thing they share in common, though, is the need to eat. And that need for food is more than satisfied, in part at Trojan Dining. Located along the roundabout at the intersection of University Avenue and Luther Drive, Trojan Dining brings a new experience in eating to Troy, providing not only nutrition, but a menu with something for every taste.
Because when you walk in there, you can smell the pizza. Do I want pizza? And then the fried chicken, the rotisserie chicken, and then you've got the Mongolian grill on top. In a rush, they can hit the salad bar, and if they know what they want really quick, then it's there for them. We can accommodate anybody that has an allergy. If there's something there that they can't eat, they can talk to a chef. They're always floating around. There's 4 chefs in that dining hall, 4 qualified chefs. And if you can catch one of those, they can certainly help you and take care of you. The simple serving section is gluten-free. So all of that food there is gluten-free, and some of those vegetables that we have on that side can be eaten by vegans as well as vegetarians. You can go to the chef and say, "Chef, can you throw me on a cheeseburger?" And he'll be happy to do that.
The real key to the quality and uniqueness of the Trojan Dining experience is people. In particular, the experience, professionalism, and creativity of the executive chefs who design and prepare the meals. In cooking Trojan style, these culinary experts share their menus and techniques with you. Today, learn to make an heirloom tomato soup using fresh, locally grown tomatoes with executive chef Robert Lynn.
Hi, I'm Robert Lynn. I'm executive chef here at Troy University. And what do we want to talk about today is using some farm-to-table sort of produce ideas. So we want to use things that are local. It's summertime here in Troy, and because of that, we like to cool down in different ways. Today I'm going to be making an heirloom tomato soup, gazpacho actually, which is a chilled soup. I grow tomatoes at home. I grow heirloom tomatoes at home, which is why we're using heirloom tomatoes in this, but you could use any sort of tomatoes you want. You could use whatever you get at the grocery store. A lot of what's grown down here is big boy and better boy varieties. I see those a lot. My grandmother actually grows those. But what we have today is, this one's called a big zebra, and this one's called a gold medal. And you can see this one's not quite ripe, but it's called an indigo rose, and it's got little shades of purple on it. There's one called a Kumato, which is almost brown in color. So, they look a little different than what sort of tomatoes you're used to, but the flavor is very much the same. You can get a little more tanginess from the yellow tomatoes. They require a little bit more concentration to what you're doing because they're going to have different shapes and they're going to cook faster. The big ones are going to cook slower than the smaller ones. So a little bit more concentration, but not too much. And like I say, these grow from my garden, so this is what we're making today. So it's an heirloom tomato gazpacho. I grow heirloom tomatoes because I also do tomato salads and things like that. And I like the color variation, and I like the size and things. It makes me happy. So starting with this, we're going to, first of all, what we're going to do is we're going to émonder these tomatoes, which means, so we're going to take the core out, and that's just a fancy French word for removing the skin. So we're going to take the core out, we're going to give it a little score on the top, a little score on the bottom, and we're going to drop that into some boiling water. We're going to do that with all these guys. And so this water, we're just going to leave it in there for a couple of minutes, long enough to sort of release that skin on the tomato. Then we're going to take it out, we're going to shock it in ice water, and that's going to stop the cooking process. So it's going to keep the flesh of the tomato good and firm while allowing us to remove that skin, because we're going to ultimately process this soup, and tomato skin's not something that you really want to have part of your soup. It, looks ugly on the plate and that sort of thing. So we want to get most of those off if we can, and like I said, it's not hard to do, just takes a little patience. So you can see, like, this one's already starting to lose its skin. It just peels right away. So we're going to take that out, drop it in the ice bath. Depending on how ripe the tomatoes are, some may take a little longer. This one's doing fine. We're going to take him out. But yeah, the more ripe the tomato, the faster this process will happen. Take those out. A little indigo fella, he's not quite ready. He was still a little green. And that guy's got a little bit more time. So all of those are still working.